So as you guys know, I'm constantly looking for what is the best controller or pro controller for PlayStation 5. Generally, best pro controllers on the market in general. Doesn't have to be just PlayStation. It could be for Xbox, it could be for PC, it could be for Switch. Doesn't matter. I constantly review controllers, so you already know I'm always on the lookout. So I've reviewed all of these, from the DualSense Edge controller to the Wolverine V2 from Razer, all the way over to the original GOAT, the Victrix Pro BFG, which is one of my most successful reviews on this channel. And don't worry, guys, relax, you're gonna get some because I'm working on the Hall Effect module for this too. So I've been reviewing all these controllers, right? And the one that has really gotten me to a point to say this is the definitive pro controller is none other than this right here. This is the Phantom controller, the HEXGAMING Phantom PlayStation 5 Pro controller. This right here, at this point where I'm at, if you're playing on PlayStation 5 and you're looking for a definitive controller, this is the controller I'm going to tell you to get. And for the simple reason is this is essentially a PlayStation 5 DualSense controller with all the pro functionality that you want. As you can see, you got your standard look here, but you also got your pro functions, paddles and whatnot on the back and hair stop stuff. And it also has Hall Effect sticks. The Hall Effects on this, and we got to clear something up because a lot of people assume Hall Effects means you're never going to get any type of stick drift, which is completely untrue because it has a lower potentiality of getting stick drift. Okay, which means you're probably never in the lifetime of you using the controller, you're ever going to get stick drift. But I just gotta, because they're gonna be the, actually folks in the comment section, because I always get those, which is why I rarely respond to comments on videos. But I had to throw it out there. So when they go, actually, Hall Effect 6 do give you the capability eventually of getting stick drift, I can be like, hey, MFer, did you read or watch the review where I actually said the very thing that you're saying before you went to type? No. Okay. Anyway, I had to throw that in, right? But yes, this controller is the one. This is the GOAT. And in this review video, we're going to be talking about why you should pick this up. And also, shout out to HEXGAMING for getting this controller over to me. I've been using this extensively for a month, and I'm ready to finally talk about it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about it. If you want to pick this up, the link will be down in the description. And yeah. Let's get to it. As a seasoned reviewer of PlayStation 5 Pro controllers, including the Victrix Pro BFG, Razer Wolverine V2, and PlayStation's own DualSense Edge, I've been on a quest to find a subjective best pro controller for the PlayStation 5. And with a flourishing market offering a plethora of options right now tailored to meet various needs, one might wonder if HEXGAMING can even stand out or if its risks being overshadowed. However, after testing their latest offering, the Phantom, it's clear they remain contenders in the race for the top PlayStation 5 controller. Upon unboxing, you're greeted with the HEXGAMING Phantom PS5 controller itself, stylishly packaged with 8 thumbsticks, a joystick adjustment tool, joystick protection rings, and all the necessary paperwork. Interestingly enough, the thumbsticks are detached, presumably to prevent misplacement. It came with a USB-C cable as well as a carrying case and a specific case for the additional thumbsticks, which are amazing. And now you also got a comprehensive quick start guide, which is included standout because, at this point, you rarely ever get packaging or, paperwork documents with controllers. I mean, some third-party companies do still include that, but for the most part, getting a brochure or a manual for a controller or really anything these days is really freaking rare. So HEXGAMING, I appreciate you guys including that with this controller. The Phantom strikes an impressive figure straight out of the box. I opted for the white model. Its aesthetics are simply breathtaking. The design closely mirrors the DualSense controller, featuring a clean look with a striking Hex logo, replacing the PlayStation button. Though the touchpad sports an advert which might not appeal to everyone. But that's all up to personal preferences. For me, it doesn't really bother me, but for you, it might. But, I don't mind, so I don't really care if it bothers you. I really like this controller, so yeah, is what it is. Despite this, the controller's visual appeal is undeniable, and it is available in 4 colors. In terms of functionality, the Phantom feels robust, slightly heavier than the standard DualSense controller, and crafted from a DualSense base enhanced with premium components. Its backplate boasts a textured grip for enhanced controls during intense gameplay sessions. This controller maintains the familiar quality of a DualSense, but introduces several enhancements, including swappable thumbsticks, customizable back buttons, and digital triggers. The thumbsticks are particularly user-friendly, easily interchangeable without compromising on security during gameplay. Now, one significant innovation is the DRIFIX module, or DRIFIX module, designed to combat stick drift. Now, stick drift, like I told you guys at the beginning, it lowers the potentiality of you getting stick drift on your controllers for those long game sessions. It doesn't completely eliminate it, but it does lower the potentiality, which means for 99% of people who are using controllers that have Hall effect sensors in them, which means you're probably never in the lifetime of the controller ever going to get stick drift. But there is still that potentiality that it could happen. So compared to a standard analog stick on DualSense or DualSense Edge, it's very low. So keep that in mind. Additionally, the digital triggers and preserve adaptive features from the DualSense, like haptic feedback, enhance the gaming experience without sacrificing the unique qualities of the original controller design. Now, the back buttons have been redesigned for better integration and ease of use, simplifying customization with quick remapping capabilities. The other thing, too, I want to talk about real quickly is how you map the back buttons. Now, it's a very simple process overall. Basically, you're going to press and hold this button here on the back for about 3 seconds, and that's going to put it within settings mode, or pairing mode rather, for your pairing up your buttons, but let's just call it settings mode. So once you do that, then the next thing you're going to need to do is hold the back button that you want to assign it to, and also whatever face button, touchpad, or even the triggers or directions. And you'll see it if you successfully are able to set your button, then you'll see this light flash red about 3 times. If not, it's going to flash red short, not quickly, but very, short flashes red, just to let you know that it did not set. And the other thing too is if you want to get rid of whatever your setting is, you go L1, R1, up, left, circle, and triangle when you're in setting mode to remove all of your settings. Now, granted, this is where I'm like, it would be cool to have an app, either a phone app or an app on the computer, or not, on the computer, or either on the PlayStation itself. But I understand being able to map everything here is pretty much going to make it very easy. And then you can also switch between profiles too. So if you want to set up 6 different profiles that we can adapt to whatever type of game you're playing, be it shooters, platformers, fighting games, whatever it is you're working with, this controller has you covered either way. So the Phantom controller comes with 8 different interchangeable thumbsticks, and I'm going to run through each one that it comes with. You get 2 regular concaves, 2 wide and long concaves, 2 domed long, 1 regular dome, and 1 concave widened regular. Now, you also need to understand this too. For those of you, I know I kind of briefly talked about how you can put the hair triggers and everything on, but it's really a matter of, do you want a long throw or you want a short throw? So if you want a long throw, which is going to basically give you the haptic feedback of your PlayStation 5 games, or if you want a short throw, which is tantamount to basically mouse clicks. The choice is yours. So based on whatever you click and select it on. So this part of the review is going to be for the very few percentage of people who actually are into the nitty-gritty, who need to know the technical details of this controller. This is a part where I mollywop those sticks and I finger those back buttons and I pause. I realize how bad that sounds. No, Diddy. You got to tell Diddy no, because Diddy likes to party. Anyways, this is the part where I do that type of test on this controller. No, not the Diddy parties, but yeah. So that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. So I like to do all my testing for my controllers on Gamepad Tester, which is on hardwaretester.com/gamepad. So anyway. All right, so it's plugged in. As you can see, it registers as a DualSense wireless controller. And We're going to look at everything. So as you can see, I'm moving everything up, left. This is on the right stick. That way you get an idea of it on the axes and how it, again, like I told you, I'm mollywopping these sticks. You see? Mollywopping them, flicking them. That just sounds so wrong. All right, so I've done that. Now we're testing the D-pad. As you can see, it's at 1.0 on every direction. And then for the buttons, and then this is without me, as you can see here, I don't have the stop gates put on it. So you can see as I'm lightly doing it, as you can see. Now, when I put the gate on, or the trigger stops, you can see, I put all of it, sorry. Boom, 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 immediate actuation, as you can see. Just like every other button. It's an immediate actuation. Whereas when you turn it off, you can see it's gradual. So now we know. Now, as a whole, the overall experience of using a Phantom in gaming is described by me as nothing short of magical. I love this controller. I think because I like the feel of the DualSense controller, but one of the things I really didn't like about the DualSense, and I have one over here, I have a custom one I got from working with a particular company. One thing I disliked about the DualSense is the fact that it didn't have Hall effects. So that's really it. But with this, and I definitely need to get another one because this needs to be my standard for playing games now. Fighting games, shooters, platformers, otherwise, this is the controller for me because it gives me everything that a traditional PlayStation 5 DualSense controller gives me, and then some. So you can't really beat that. And the fact that this is maintaining the excellence of the DualSense controller while incorporating Hex Gaming's innovative features is absolutely chef's kiss. However, there is room for improvement. Now, for all the ups, there are areas where this could definitely be improved. Like, honestly, I would have loved if this came with a, like an integrated app that you could either download to your PC or to your smartphone to be able to connect it and be able to, on the fly make adjustments, or also being able to like download an app directly to your PlayStation, be able to, make the adjustments there. It doesn't have that. So if there's any criticism that I have for this controller, it's the fact that that doesn't exist as of yet. And I don't know if it ever will. Not saying it's necessary for 90% of people or 99.9% of people, it's not going to be an issue. But for a lot of us who play at a higher echelon of gaming, or even those who play, in esports or play competitively, that would be something that they would like. But the fact of the matter is, it's not that difficult to remap your buttons and everything on here. And yeah, it is what it is. Great controller otherwise. That's probably the only complaint that I have about this controller. All that being said, though, for the price, I think this being priced competitively right up there where the DualSense Edge is, it might make a little some people, I said little people, might make some people pause, be like pause, Heisman at home a little bit before they decide to plop down the money to get this. However, I will say this, the DualSense Edge, while being a great controller with being able to swap out the modules, if you do get stick drift or anything like that, you can swap it out with the replacement, which are usually like 20 bucks or so. I like the fact of everything just being on here and, not having to deal with the flimsy back panels and everything on the DualSense Edge. I like how this is just right here. Now, granted, it could have a bigger battery life than a traditional DualSense controller. Like I said, it's my biggest complaint with the DualSense controller. This does address it with slightly better battery life, but I would have liked a larger battery overall. Now, granted, that would have made the weight of this controller go higher than what it is, but nonetheless, I wouldn't have minded it. I mean, it's already heavier than a standard DualSense controller anyway, so why not just throw in an even bigger battery so you can, if not double the battery life, at least get an additional 25 to 30% additional battery life on it. But all that being said, though, this is the goated controller that I will be using going forward. Now, to keep it honest, I will still be using other controllers like the Victrix Pro BFG, specifically for when I play fighting games. Now, that is what this will be used for. And yes, I have a review coming for this very soon. But that will be the usage I will have for the Victrix Pro BFG. Particularly, is just for fighting games, because that is, to me, the ultimate fighting pad. I mean, I can play fighting game for this, proficient too, but I just prefer the Sega Saturn style or Sega Genesis 6-button layout style for a fighting pad. That's just a preference of mine, who's been playing fighting games since 1991. But this is the journeyman controller. This is the do everything, and it excels exceptionally at everything that it does. So if you're looking for a controller to pick up, this is the one I'm going to highly recommend for you. But that being said, huge shout out to Hex Gaming for sending this over to me. Sorry it took me so long to get this review out. I ended up losing footage. I had to re-record and all that stuff because I had a hard drive failure, but it is what it is. Ultimately, phenomenal controller, highly recommended. And if you guys want to pick it up, I'll leave links in the description below. And you can easily buy this off of their website. That being said, what do you guys think about the Phantom controller from Hex Gaming? Is it something you're considering picking up? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section down below. And all that being said, catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, have aloha, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, and ahoy ho.